Hello, my name is Victoria Chang, and I'm the acting program chair. And I would like to welcome you to Antioch MFA's December 2022 commencement ceremony. First, I'd like to welcome Mark Hauer to the podium. Mark is our provost.
Thank you, Victoria. Well, welcome to Antioch University Los Angeles MFA Creative Writing Commencement Ceremony. And this is a special one for a variety of reasons, including where we're having it, but also it's the 25th anniversary of this program. It's a very special year and date. So, graduates, family members, partners, friends, faculty, students, alumni, honored guests, I want to just thank all of you for coming to this commencement ceremony. Graduates, a special welcome to you and congratulations. I'm so pleased that you're here. You've realized your goals through all the hard work and sacrifices you've made. I'm delighted to acknowledge your achievements and to welcome you into the community of Antioch alumni. Congratulations to each of you. Yes. Woo! Now, of course, you have reason to celebrate for all your accomplishments, and I also recognize, and I know you do too, that some of how you got here was support of other folks, many of them in this room. So I want to take a moment to acknowledge that and those folks. So family and friends, your support, love, your assurance and reassurance, your assistance was absolutely critical for these graduates. And in a very real sense, you were part of that learning journey with them. And also you're part of the Antioch community. So thank you for all you've done. Faculty, of course, you've been a big part of the student journey. I'm sure this is not a surprise to you. You've guided them in their learning process. You've developed the curriculum, shared your expertise and knowledge, served as mentors, and encouraged them to do and be their best. MFA staff, yay, yes. I've got to acknowledge you folks. I just recognize that if your staff, MFA, or for that matter, the entire Antioch University staff, this is a special day for you too. Commencement reminds us, it's a visible reminder of why we do this work, how much we love doing it, and how much we appreciate having the chance to work with students of your caliber and your heart and your commitment. So this is a big deal for us, so thank you. I also want to make sure I mention Daisy and Natalie in particular, because they've been with you from the start. I just have to say, you mentioned Daisy and Natalie. It's one of the cheapest applause lines available. In terms of it's the quickest, but it's really deserving. We know you see it in spades during these residencies, and of course I know you know in between residencies and in many other ways they really make a huge difference in your lives and in your learning experience. So thanks all of you. I think that's about it. I just want to let me check my notes, but that's it for now. I do want to also say that I'll be coming back in a moment, but first I want to make sure that I introduce you again to Victoria. Victoria Chang is going to introduce our student speaker. And I just want to say really quickly, Victoria did an amazing job this year. She stepped up as a chair again while she was going on a national book tour. I mean, I think she was just absolutely involved in every way possible, and at the same time more involved in that tour than really we could have expected. So I'm really grateful you did that. The residency is also a tribute to the organization and your commitment, so I really am appreciative. So Victoria, thank you. Thank come on up.
Thank you, Mark. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium our graduating student speaker, Ashley Russ.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me this honor to speak for us today. And my cohort, I love you. I hope I do our hearts justice. Writing is an act of bravery, and the page is where we confront our fears. We are writing during a global pandemic. We are writing in a time of violent political divide. We are writing even as freedoms are stripped from us, when our bodily autonomy is threatened, our LGBTQIA+ community is threatened, our BIPOC communities are threatened. We are writing when some of us have lost family, friends, and a sense of purpose. We are writing in a time of climate crisis while moving toward an uncertain future because it's the only way we can survive. We write because we must. It's not ego or fame that drives us. It's not just rage. It's love. We write for the love of social justice because the personal is the political, and every action we take, every word we write is a testimony to those causes we believe in most. We write to fight racism, ableism, ageism, and sexism, to fight classism, homophobia, transphobia, and Islamophobia, to find a more just system than capitalism, to weed out our own biases, and to acknowledge our own privilege. We write to affirm our humanity and to listen to the humanity in others. We give voice to what we once kept silent and create space for those who must speak. Writing is an act of bravery, and we are charged with the responsibility to dream of a better way of life. It's not always easy taking up that charge. I know. It can be hard to overcome our fears. I want to share a poem titled, I Give You Back, written by the 23rd Poet Laureate of the United States, Joy Harjo. She opens with, I release you, my beautiful and terrible fear. I release you. You were my beloved and hated twin, but now I don't know you as myself. I release you with all the pain I would know at the death of my children. And Harjo closes with, I take myself back, fear. You are not my shadow any longer. I won't hold you in my hands. You can't live in my eyes, my ears, my voice, my belly, or in my heart, my heart, my heart, my heart. But come here, fear. I'm alive and you are so afraid of dying. So, my peers, my friends, my courageous writers, today, as we enter the next stage of our writing careers, I celebrate us. The daring ones who have the audacity to dream of a better world, to fail, the tenacity to trust that failure is part of the process. We will write the stories that scare us. We will brave the world that may try to silence us, because writing is an act of bravery, a testament to words and our faith in humanity. Congratulations, everyone. We did it!
Thank you so much, Ashley. That was wonderful. Now I'd like to welcome welcome to the podium for the first time, teaching faculty Alistair McCartney.
Thank you, Victoria, and thanks, Ashley, for such a heartfelt speech, and so lovely to see everyone here. It is an honor to introduce our commencement guest speaker, Naima Costa. Naima is a New York Times best-selling author of 2 novels and a recipient of the National Book Foundation's 5 Under 35 honor. Her most recent novel, What's Mine and Yours, was a statewide read for One Maryland, One Book, and longlisted for the Mark Twain American Voice in Literature Award. It was named the Best Book of the Year by Kirkus, Esquire, Marie Claire, and The Millions. Costa's first novel, Halsey Street, was a finalist for the Kirkus Prize for Fiction and a semi-finalist for the VCU Cable First Novelist Award. Of Halsey Street, Publishers Weekly said, "In her perceptive, memorable debut, Costa reveals the personal toll that gentrification takes on one damaged Bed-Stuy family. Penelope's status as both an insider and an outsider in her childhood home affords Costa an acute perspective from which to consider the repercussions of gentrification, as well as a family's legacy of self-destruction." And Cristina Garcia wrote that Costa's second novel, What's Mine and Yours, patiently and unerringly tracks the boundaries, unearths the secrets, and stares unblinkingly at what's essential to knowing oneself and the larger histories we're forced to navigate. A beautifully wrought investigation of family, race, inheritance, and belonging. Costa's stories and essays have appeared in the New York Times, Elle, Time, and Kweli, among other publications, and in numerous anthologies. She earned her MFA at Columbia University and her BA in African American Studies and English at Yale, and has taught writing for over a decade in community settings, youth programs, and universities, including Antioch University MFA, where she is affiliate faculty, and much loved for the critical rigor and creative generosity she gives to our students. Currently at work on her third novel, Naima lives in Brooklyn with her family. Please give a warm welcome to Antioch MFA December 22 guest commencement speaker, the brilliant and incisive Naima Costa.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and congratulations to all the graduates of the MFA program. I'm grateful to be with you virtually and to share in this moment celebrating you, all you've learned and created, and all you've given of yourselves to your work and to your peers and communities. It's a beautiful occasion, although I imagine bittersweet for many of you. The MFA program at Antioch is special, one that, in my experience, earns the title of community. At Antioch, we share pages, time, convictions, aspirations, labor, and care. I've loved being a part of this community because I find being with you all, whether virtually or in person, energizing and encouraging. And I believe that all writers desperately need encouragement. We need it in part because there are so few external milestones in the writing life. There are no promotions, no gold stars, no progress reports. The MFA can codify for us some sense of our progress and development as writers, which is a gift. So often we're developing and growing, but we can't even tell because writing is hard and the creative process rarely linear and full of setbacks and sticking points and redos. Many of us look to publication as an antidote to the lack of clear milestones in the writing life. Publishing can seem like the ultimate reward for all our hard work and devotion. But the truth is that even for the most prolific and fortunate among us, publication represents a small blip in our writing lives compared to all the hours we spend thinking and rethinking, dreaming and planning, drafting and scrapping pages. It's this other stuff that makes up our days. In the last class of my first MFA workshop as a student, the professor gave us some advice about how to navigate a writing life, in which external rewards and validation can be few and far between. In retrospect, it wasn't advice as much as it was a warning. He told us to make the best of the MFA because afterward, no one would care about our writing. Once we graduated, we'd be writing without any sense that our work mattered to anyone else in the world. There'd be no deadlines, no feedback, no workshop or community, and we'd struggle to see if there was a point to our writing at all. We'd wonder why we were doing what we were doing. I remember instinctively rejecting his words. They were too grim. I knew the power of literature and stories, and I also had big dreams. I had plans to achieve. My goal was to sell my novel, for an amount equal to, maybe even greater than the student loans I'd incurred earning the MFA. And I was resolved to make this a reality by the sheer force of my determination. But this isn't what happened to me. My manuscript, which had been my MFA thesis, was rejected by more publishers than I can say. I don't know the final number because my agent shielded me from that information. And I'd experienced rejection before from literary journals, contests, MFA programs, but this time felt different. Maybe because I did feel I was out there on my own in the future that I'd been looking forward to for so long. I missed the affirmation of having a professor say, that was a strong opening, or having a classmate say, I can't wait to read the next chapter. During the MFA, there was validation in knowing I was working towards a degree, in walking into a room full of people who had read my work and had things to say about it. The question facing me now wasn't just, will anyone ever publish my novel? It was, what do I do when the rewards and milestones can be so few and far between? Thankfully, I'd made a new friend since graduating. M was a writer too, and we were living in the same city post-MFA. Our paths had crossed briefly in grad school, and she shared with me that her book had recently been rejected from everywhere too. We started meeting once a week to write in a coffee shop in a strip mall in the Piedmont of North Carolina. We wrote and drank coffee and talked about our pages, our frustrations, and we told each other to keep going. And it almost felt easy to keep going because we were already there together, sitting across from one another. Time with M felt restorative. Maybe my novel wasn't getting any plottier. Maybe my prose wasn't soaring to new heights. Maybe the story wasn't even getting any more saleable, but I was writing, and there was satisfaction in that. When I wondered, just as my MFA professor predicted I would, what am I doing? The answer was simple. I was making something. I was making something out of words, making an imaginative space that I could live inside. I was creating, exploring, puzzling, confronting. It felt rich. It felt fun. I was immersed in the work, which was much better than worrying about rejections or the future. Many of us start writing because it's what we love to do. We know it adds to our lives. But eventually we also write because of the things that we want our writing to do for us. We want to sell an essay so we can pay that bill. We want to publish a book to prove to our loved ones and maybe ourselves that we were right for going back to school. We want to tell a dazzling story that shows off our talents and just how special we are to that person who perhaps has never quite loved us right. We freight our writing with so many expectations. Some goals are things that we can work toward, others are beyond our control. I can't tell you what to aim for or which aspirations to hold on to. That's, of course, for you to decide. It was 8 months before I found an editor who believed in my book. In retrospect, a short time, but back then it felt interminable. And I didn't sell my novel for an amount equal to or greater than my loans. I got about a fifth of that, but it was enough to pay down some credit card debt and buy a new computer, which I very much needed because mine had given out. But the process of working for those 8 months with no guarantee of a reward gave me more than the book deal. First, it gave me my friendship with M. Years later, we still share work with one another, although we live on different continents. We share when we feel stuck or lost, creatively and otherwise. She is my most trusted and consistent reader. I was a witness at her wedding, and I'm godmother to one of her kids. The other thing those 8 months gave me was time to practice writing under the conditions my MFA professor had warned me about, without the promise of reward, without clear milestones, without proof that anyone else cared. Except the last part wasn't quite true. I cared. M cared too. She also thought that writing was a good way to spend a life, or at least a few hours once a week in a coffee shop in a strip mall. James Baldwin once wrote, "The interior life is a real life, and the intangible dreams of people have a tangible effect on the world." I believe this wholeheartedly. My writing changes me. My process and the things I create leave their impressions all over me. And as my writing shapes my interior world, it goes on to have a life beyond me as I move through the larger world. The fiction writers in the room will know what I'm talking about here. The interiors of our characters shape everything that happens in our stories. Their interiors create friction, harmony, disaster, love, change. As it is on the page, so it is in life. Whenever the writing feels self-indulgent or like its meanings begin and end with me, I remind myself of Baldwin's words. It's been many years since those coffee shop writing dates with M. A lot of good things have happened in my writing life since then. I've kept working. I've been fortunate. I make sure to celebrate the milestones when they come. I encourage all of the graduates to do the same. Celebrate and let the people in your life celebrate you. You deserve it. But I also encourage you to do what you can to remember that the writing life is more than milestones, more than achievements. It's the writing itself, the play, the discovery, the making. It's the time with yourself, the devotion and belief you share with other writers, the tangible effects of intangible dreams. Lots of days, this can be enough to keep going. I want to congratulate every graduate today on all you've cultivated on the page, in your relationships, and in yourself during your time at Antioch. Onward and happy writing to you all.
Thank you, Naima. That was really beautiful. So my name, as I mentioned earlier, is Victoria Chang, and I'm the acting program chair of the MFA program in creative writing at Antioch. I want to congratulate the Cotingas for graduation and also living through a very difficult time. I'm proud of all of the cohorts, students, and alums of this program, but I'm especially proud of this cohort, the last of our squawky bird cohorts, and a cohort that has been incessantly buffeted by crises during a particularly challenging few years. We were finally lucky enough to get to meet some members of this cohort in person in June of 2022 at our first hybrid residency, and we're so happy to welcome some of the Cotingas back for this residency, as well as happy to see some of you virtually as well. A lot of times when things don't turn out how we envisioned them or planned them, we feel disappointed. But in my personal experiences, every disappointment soon turned out to be a new opportunity, a chance to take another path that had its own joys and challenges. This reminds me of the writing process, too. I recently visited the University of San Francisco and told students that every day is an elegy to the poem I never wrote. And my host, the poet Doug Powell, posted my quote on Twitter. But what I didn't get to say or add at the end of that quote is that true, a certain poem wasn't written because I didn't have the energy or time to sit down and write. But out of that gap, something else filled it. I sat down another day to write a line, fragment, sentence, poem that I never would have written if I had been able to write on that initial day. Meaning, there are multiple paths at every turn, and out of the challenges during your time here, Cotingas, I know new experiences, joys, and opportunities emerged, filled in those gaps, and flourished in new and unexpected ways. It's been a pleasure to serve as your program chair this semester. Some of you might recall that I stepped aside in January, but stepped back in July to support the program. Interim Program Chair Lisa Lacascio will be returning soon from maternity leave, and I'm so excited for her return. We've accomplished so many things this semester alone, and that's why our students call us the Dream Team. Speaking of the Dream Team, I want to thank my amazing colleagues. I've already done it 7 times this residency, but really I could thank them forever. I want to thank my colleagues, Alistair McCartney, Colette Friedman, Natalie Truhan, I jumped ahead, Daisy Salas, Jessica Calderon, and our December residency elves, as I call them, Dasha Sidenko, Tiara Murphy, and Jeremy Gray. Thanks also go to our alum fellow, Barbara Platz. Is Barbara here? Thank you, Barbara. I also want to give another shout out to the Cotingas, who raised $1,675 to support the Eloise Klein Healy Scholarship Fund, which helped us reach our goal for this year's $25,000 for 25 years fundraising campaign. In fact, we exceeded our goal and with the match, raised $57,710. Which was $7,710 more than our $50,000 goal, thanks to a generous $25,000 match from alum Lise Quintana. This funding will help the next generation of writers, just as we hope these funds have helped current students. As you know, for the first time in this program's history, we raised a full scholarship for an incoming summer 2022 student over the age of 40. Our supporter named the scholarship the SPA Futura Artis Scholarship. I had to Google this myself, which means the future of art in Latin, which is a testament to how important art is, especially right now. It's our personal goal to raise more full scholarships and other funding for future students. I always say that no one asks us to do this work, but the social justice mission of this program and the university guides the work we do. We hope you'll all continue to join us in our dreams. The success of this program for you, the Cotingas, wasn't how many pages you've written or how many things you've published, but rather the friends that you've made. These are the friends who will lift you up when you most need it as a writer and human, and these are the friends who will need you to lift them up too. Be kind to each other and hold each other and the work accountable. When you leave here, you won't have our grueling deadlines, our supportive program coordinators. You cannot email them at 2 a.m. or your mentors to motivate you, but you will have your friends, and you will make more friends within our Antioch family. There are over 1,200 of you scattered like joy in the world. The biggest challenge facing you now is to keep writing without deadlines or mentors, but know that you have everything you need. Just sit down and write. Various people have said something like this: the only way to predict the future is to build it. Our role in society is more important now than ever. I'm confident that each of you Cotingas will make a difference in the world through your words and actions, and we'll be here cheering you on. So just sit down and write. It's been an honor to have you in our care. Thank you. Now, are you ready? It's finally the moment that we've been waiting for. Mark Hauer and Alistair McCartney, please return to the podium and the stage to present the candidates for the MFA degree in creative writing.
I have the honor to present and recommend the following candidates for the MFA in Creative Writing Master's degree. Will the candidates for the Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing please line up one row at a time to receive their diplomas? Graduates, please come forward as directed by the Faculty Marshal as your name is called. Samantha Ramoni. Kirby Chen Majors. Edika Liz Colon. Tara Kramer. Tyson Michael Holton. Mayor Allen. Elizabeth Baxmeyer. Ashley Lyali. Ellen Macbeth Boomer. Donna Marie Castañeda. Tracy L. Simmons. Ashley Russ. Kason O'Banion. Karen Gall Schulman. Ben Llewellyn Taylor. Shantika Curry. Amy Lutz. Ian Clay Sewell. Di Dean. Amanda Königsberg. Allison Smith. Gaby Herrera Stern. Aman Batra. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing please rise? Provost Mark Hauer, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you for appropriate recognition the candidates for the degree of Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing.
Thank you, Alistair. MFA candidates. upon the recommendation of the MFA faculty of Antioch University, Los Angeles, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of Antioch University, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Masters of Fine Arts with all the rights, honors, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Now, to make this official, there's a tradition. Take your tassel from your right, move it to your left. Left to your right. You right again if you've done it already. On the left. Okay, no one leave the room until it's on the left. All right, congratulations. Do you do anything else?
And yes, I guess now I go. Please stand for the recessional and join us for a reception for graduates and their guests immediately following the ceremony. The reception is in the courtyard right outside the front doors of the lobby. Please allow the graduates a few minutes to join you after their photos. The platform party and the MFA faculty will lead the recessional, followed by the graduates.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you. This was like smooth as silk. You guys, I was so impressed with, there was like no glitch.
Oh, Daisy.
Oh, it was fantastic. So I'm going to pack up and then you'll be able to come back to help me in like 5 minutes? Okay, when you get here. Thank you.